If I had to start an Amazon KDP business from scratch today and ChatGPT was one of my main tools, I would not start by creating journals. I wouldn't even make another generic planner, and I definitely wouldn't type ChatGPT, make me a best-selling book, because this is exactly how you end up creating the same generic AI books that thousands of other people are uploading. Instead, I would look for book categories where AI gives me an actual advantage. Books where I can create something visually interesting, books where I can niche down, and definitely books where I can build an entire series instead of relying on one random upload. And most importantly, books where I can actually add enough value that someone wants to buy the book. So today I'm going to show you 7 KDP niches I would personally investigate if I were starting with ChatGPT today. But I'm also going to go a bit further than giving you simply 7 niches. For every idea, I'm going to show you how I would niche it down, what I would put inside the book, how I would differentiate it from the competition, and whether I think it's actually worth pursuing or not. And stay with me until the end, because I'm also going to show you how I would take one successful book idea and potentially turn it into an entire KDP product line. Starting with niche number 1, monochrome coloring books. The first niche that I would investigate is monochrome coloring books, and it is one of the most interesting things because it isn't your traditional coloring book. Instead, what's happening here is you're filling an illustration with lots of different colors. You're essentially creating artwork where the user fills specific sections using black, and visually these can look absolutely incredible when they are completed. And here's a mistake that I would avoid. I would not publish something called monochrome coloring book because that is too broad. Instead, I'd start with breaking the niche down. For example, cozy autumn monochrome coloring book, Gothic botanical monochrome coloring book, mushroom monochrome coloring book. You get the idea. Dark academia, Halloween, whimsical cats, cottage core, and so on. Do you see where I'm going here? We're not looking for one book. We're looking for a repeatable book system. And I absolutely love this strategy. I've used it time and time again with many other niches. And this is one of the most biggest things I want you to take away from this video. So when I find a KDP opportunity, here's what I immediately ask myself: can I turn this into 10 books? Because if one particular style starts selling, I don't want to start researching from zero again, and I want somewhere to go next. So how would I use ChatGPT for this exact niche? I could ask ChatGPT, and you could also see the prompt linked in the description box below. Give me 50 visually distinctive scene ideas for a cozy autumn monochrome coloring book. You would also insert whatever mini sub niche instead of autumn. You would insert the mini sub niche that you're doing here. I would also ask it to avoid being repetitive compositions, include cottages, woodland animals, mushrooms, cafes, books, rainy windows, and pumpkins and cozy interiors. Now that I've got my concept list, it's amazing, but I wouldn't blindly generate 50 images and upload them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to curate them. I'd make sure that the illustrations have a consistent style. I'll check every image carefully, and I'll fix strange AI details. And I'd make the book feel like a intentional collection rather than 50 unrelated AI pictures. So here's my score for this niche. The demand potential is 8 out of 10. AI suitability is definitely 9 out of 10. Its ability to create a series, 10 out of 10. You can't go wrong with this. And its differentiation potential is a 9 out of 10. So this is absolutely one that I would research further. With that being said, let's head to niche number 2, hidden object coloring books. Number 2 is where things get really interesting. Hidden object coloring books. Think of Where's Waldo style searching combined with coloring and activity books. The reader here gets an illustration that's filled with objects. They're given a list of things that they need to find. Then they go ahead and find the object. Then they can color the scene, and immediately what do we have here? You've created more engagement than a standard coloring book. And this in itself is where I think people misunderstand AI publishing. Your competitive advantage isn't necessarily AI makes books faster. It's actually AI allows me to experiment with more creative book concepts. For example, instead of hidden object, book for kids, I would consider sub-niching and making farm animal search and find coloring books for kids ages 4 to 8, or even dinosaur hidden object adventure, or underwater search and find coloring book, or even magical forest hidden object book. Now that you've combined multiple interests, it's going to work amazingly well. So what would I put on each page? Now, let's say we're creating the dinosaur version. Every spread should contain a detailed dinosaur scene, 6 to 10 hidden objects, a small checklist, a dinosaur fact, because we always love to make it a little bit more educational to provide the extra value as well, and a coloring challenge. And also, because I'm a bit over the top, maybe I would add a bonus question or some bonus questions and fun facts. For example, can you find 3 dinosaur eggs? Or which dinosaur is the biggest? Or color all the plants green. Now what do we have here? A child isn't just getting a coloring book. They're actually searching, they're learning, they're observing, they're counting, and they are interacting with the book. And that's really what makes a stronger product. So let's have a look at the score that I've given this niche for niche number 2. The demand potential, 8 out of 10. AI suitability, 8 out of 10. What about its differentiation potential? Me personally, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. And the series potential is also a 10 out of 10. This is my absolute favorite, and this would probably be a great educational series later on as well if you'd like to pursue that. Now, let's head to niche number 3, spot the difference books. Spot the difference books, another category where ChatGPT and AI image tools can potentially save you a lot of production time. So you create 2 similar illustrations, then intentionally change specific elements. Maybe one image has 8 apples, the other one has 7. One character has a hat, the other doesn't. A window disappears and then a flower changes and a cloud moves and the child starts to find the differences. But then again, I'm not stopping here because generic spot the difference books already exist. And what do we want to do? We want to always be unique, stand out. Add value. I'd combine the activity with another interest, such as, for example, dinosaur spot the difference and fun facts, because each puzzle would include things like 2 dinosaur illustrations, 7 differences, 1 dinosaur fact, 1 question, and a small coloring activity. Now we're getting somewhere, aren't we? So you could do space, ocean animals, farm animals, you could even do unicorns and construction vehicles. You could do Christmas, Halloween, cats, dogs, fairies. The list is endless. Suddenly, you've got the entire publishing roadmap. But before we head over to niche number 4, an important AI warning I'd like to just say out loud. This is also where quality control becomes extremely important. So if you are promising find 7 differences, there needs to be exactly 7 intentional differences, because you can't rely on AI and assume that everything is correct. You need to manually check every single puzzle, because one broken activity can create a terrible customer experience. And AI speeds up production. It's absolutely amazing for that, but it doesn't remove quality control. So let's have a look at the score that I've given this. 8 out of 10 for demand potential. For AI suitability, it's 8 out of 10. For it becoming a serious potential, it's a 10 out of 10. For quality control and difficulty, for me personally, I'd give it 6 out of 10. Overall, I'd investigate this one. Now, let's go to niche number 4, which is a strategy rather than one specific niche. And we're talking about trending animal activity books. And this is where I would start watching what children are suddenly obsessed with. What is trending? Capybaras are a perfect example. But here's the problem. If everyone discovers capybara coloring books are selling and everybody immediately starts to make the exact same thing, guess what's going to happen? The competition will explode. So instead of chasing the obvious keyword, I'm going to get you to reflect and ask, what can I combine it with? Let's see, capybara coloring book is trending. It becomes capybara adventure coloring book. Now the capybara can be can play soccer, go camping, become an astronaut, bake cookies, go to school, travel underwater, visit the moon, and every scene can have an activity. Every scene can have a maze, a coloring page, a fun fact to spot the difference, and even word search and find. Suddenly, it's not just another 50-page coloring book, it's an actual experience, and you're selling that experience. And I would use the exact strategy with other emerging animals and characters. Think of highland cows, frogs, raccoons, red pandas, cute sharks, sea otters as well. Whatever the market is showing interest in, don't just change the animal, build a concept around the animal. Now, let's head to niche number 5, which is educational coloring books. Number 5 is one of the categories that I think has enormous room for creativity. And if you've been watching me here on the channel, I love creativity in every single way. And we are talking about educational coloring books because parents aren't necessarily just buying something to keep their child busy. Many parents love an activity that also teaches something. So combine fun and learning. It's a formula that will never lose. Instead of animal coloring book, I'd personally create amazing animals coloring book with 100 fun facts. Every page will include a large illustration to be colored in, the animal's name, where it lives, one surprising fact, a simple vocabulary word and its meaning, and a small activity. But if I'm creating for younger children, it would be trace the word elephant. If it's for older children, an example would be an elephant can communicate using very low frequency words. What other animals communicate in unusual ways? See how I'm getting them to think? You could also create educational coloring books about anything and everything, including insects, countries, famous landmarks, the weather, even gardening as well, and science. STEM is a big thing as well. That's really trending. It's been trending for the past couple of years as well. And this is where ChatGPT becomes especially useful because it can help you organize information and develop the activities. But factual information still needs checking. Never assume that because AI confidently gives you the fact is automatically correct. Always double check, always verify, and always validate that fact before you start to publish it. So let's head to niche number 6, and we're talking about seasonal activity books. So think about Halloween, Eid, Christmas, Easter, autumn, winter, summer vacation, back to school. And here is how I'm going to approach these. I wouldn't wait until everyone starts searching for Christmas books to begin making one. I'd actually work ahead. I've shared my key for publishing strategy before. The link to that video will be included in the description box below, because seasonal publishing is about preparation. For example, instead of just going ahead and creating a generic Christmas coloring book, I would create Cozy Christmas Search, Find, and Color. Now, each spread might contain a Christmas scene, a bakery. Think of other Christmas little elements and themes: a snowy village, Santa's workshop, maybe a Christmas market, and a cozy living room with a gingerbread kitchen. And the child here goes on a little bit of a journey, searching for hidden objects, and then colors the illustration. They get that dopamine boost. They get the fun as well of it. That's instantly more interesting than another generic Christmas coloring book. And then the same format becomes a building a series: Cozy Halloween Search, Find, and Color, Cozy Autumn, Spring Garden Search, Find, and Color, and so on. So what's happening here is that you are creating a series. You are creating a brand, and that word is going to keep coming up because that is exactly what I'd be thinking about from day one. Now let's go ahead and talk about the very last, the lucky last, niche number 7. And number 7 might actually be my favorite strategy of all. We are talking about hybrid books. So instead of making a generic coloring book or a puzzle book or even a workbook, what you can do is you can actually go ahead and combine them. For example, my first garden activity book. Inside is going to be color the vegetables, match the seeds to the plants, find the hidden insects, complete a garden maze, or even trace gardening words and learn what plants need to grow. Go ahead and design your dream garden like you're playing a game. One of these games for kids on the iPhone is just going ahead and creating the garden and tendering for it, or even keeping a simple plant diary. Suddenly, what you've created is something that feels far more substantial, far more valuable, And this works across many niches, like my first space activity book, my first dinosaur, my first baking, nature, horse, and so on. ChatGPT can help you brainstorm the educational structure, the activities, the instructions, and even the journey. AI image generation can also develop visual assets. Canva or even any other design platform that you use can also help to assemble everything. But your job is to make it cohesive and make it validated, as in validate the facts, make sure that if it claims that there's 7 differences, there are actually 7 differences in the images and so on. So let's talk about the strategy that most KDP beginners miss. Now, I want to show you something really important. Imagine we discover that my first garden activity book starts selling. Most beginners immediately say, great, what's another completely different niche that I'm going to pursue? I will do the opposite. Instead, I'd reflect, how many products can I create for this customer? So if they've already bought my first garden activity book, they'll probably be interested in my first garden coloring book, my first vegetable garden workbook, a garden scavenger hunt for kids, or even a garden puzzle book, or my first flowers activity book. Or surprisingly as well, and one of my favorites is my first bugs and pollinator book. Suddenly, one successful concept becomes an entire catalog. And this is what I mean when I say don't find a book, find a market. So, what would I not do with ChatGPT? Because these are also a few things I would avoid. I wouldn't publish raw ChatGPT output. I wouldn't create hundreds of nearly identical books, and I definitely wouldn't copy successful competitors. And I'm not going to assume that AI generated facts are correct or even ignore any sort of image consistency. I wouldn't go ahead and publish a book I wouldn't personally feel comfortable paying for, because AI has made creating books much more easier, but that also means that the barrier for creating mini core books has become incredibly low. So your advantage has to be the quality, it has to be the concept, the positioning, the design, and most importantly, the customer experience. So if I was starting today, I'd choose one of these 7 niches. I'd research the first page of Amazon thoroughly. I will identify what customers are already buying. I'd read the reviews, especially the negative reviews, and I'll always ask, what do buyers wish these books had? Then I'm going to go ahead and create something that fills that gap and publish the best book that I could create. Not 20 generic books, one excellent one, and I'd watch what happens. If it gets impressions but no clicks, I'd examine my cover and title. If it gets clicks but doesn't convert, I would just examine the listing and the product itself. And if it starts selling, amazing. That's when I know I need to expand. So the 7 AI-assisted KDP opportunities that I would investigate are monochrome coloring books, hidden object coloring books, spot the difference books, trending animal activity books, educational coloring books, seasonal activity books, and activity workbook hybrids. But the biggest lesson isn't really about those 7 niches. It is this: stop asking ChatGPT to give you a book. Start using AI to help you build a better publishing system. Research the customer, find the gap, and create something useful, and build a recognized series. And then when something works, don't immediately abandon it for another shiny niche. I do that all the time. I used to do that all the time when I had shiny object syndrome. But now, no. I focus, I zone, and I double down. If you want it in the next video, I can actually choose one of these niches and take you through the entire process, from finding the keyword to creating the concept to generating the interior to designing the cover and getting the finished book ready for Amazon KDP. And if it is something that you want to see, just go ahead and comment below, build the book, because if enough of you want to see it, I'll make that next. Subscribe if you're building a KDP business with AI, and I'll see you in the next video. All the best, take care, and have a great day.